Hey there, YouTube. How's it going today? Got another first impression. This time it's going to be Baren Dark Twist Roll Cake. Pretty excited to try this because I actually only just recently tried Old Dark Fired and I loved it. And in fact, now I'm kind of interested in checking out Kentucky cigars, like Toscano, stuff like that. Because I really like the flavor of Kentucky, and I really want to see what this is all about, because this has incredible ratings, incredible reviews. This is a 3.5 ounce tin, and I've never had it before. Never opened this. Oh man, it smells good. Wow, it's like just a marriage of sweet Virginia and Kentucky. Oh man, and really grassy. Like this is probably the greenest Virginia that I've smelled. It's very green, grassy Virginia. I mean, it smells like a field of grass. I feel like I'm getting bitten by chiggers now just from smelling it. So this is a really interesting presentation. I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you here. I knew to expect this, but it's weird. So it's little medallions, but they're not like perfect, bullseye flake type medallions. These are very interesting the way that they're presented, because they're a little bit on the kind of small side. They're not like super finely chopped or finely kind of put together. They're a little bit on the sort of, I almost want to say messy side, and they don't all have the little bullseye in the middle, the Cavendish in the center. It's only like 1 in 3 or something like that. It's only every once in a while you'll see one that has it. They don't all have that, but they're also not so big as luxury bullseye flake or something. So it's not like you can only fit one in your bowl. Anyway, it's really interesting. I guess the idea is that some of your bowls that you smoke won't even have any Cavendish, or you're just supposed to stuff a lot in there. If you do that, I would, you're going to need to get like 3 in there at once. I feel like I'm going to be stressing a little bit about, like, oh, how many do I have left with, Cavendish? And I don't know, though. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and lay out one with Cavendish and a few more here. I don't really know how much it's going to take to fill up the pipe, but I laid out a few. I laid out, roughly 4 of the medallions there, and we're gonna check that out and stuff the pipe with that. Whole leaves. This is from tobaccoreviews.com. Whole leaves are used as wrapper for the rope, and the inlay is divided into 2 groups. The first group contains 100% pure Virginia tobaccos, meaning that the whole leaves are used as wrapper leaves, and the leaves with small imperfections are used as the inlay. The second group contains whole Virginia leaves as wrapper and dark fired Kentucky as inlay, meaning you see dark tobacco in the center and the bright Virginias around it. Okay, so that's not Cavendish. I'm still thinking of bullseye flake. So the dark is the Kentucky. Meaning that you see the center and the brighter Virginias around it. After the tobacco has been spun into ropes, it is stored for weeks and then cut into small coins. The blend of dark twist is broken down as follows. For every 2 coins of Virginia tobacco, there's 1 coin with a center of dark fired Kentucky. And again, sorry that I misidentified that as oh, interesting. I accidentally grabbed 2 of those. as Cavendish because it is not Cavendish. It is the dark is the Kentucky. So let's see. I've got 2 Kentucky. You know what? I'm not exactly sure how much. Yeah. I'm just. Boy, this is. It's tough even identifying the medallions, the coins, because they're just so kind of, broken up already. I mean, they're falling apart. They're not broken up, but they're kind of falling apart. So Brand McBaren, blend type, Virginia based. It does have black Cavendish. I'm not exactly sure how that figures into this. If it's just mixed in there, I don't see any. It's hard to know. Maybe the black Cavendish is mixed in with the Kentucky. I'm not really sure. But black Cavendish, Kentucky, Virginia, flavoring maple, so it has a maple topping. They call this a curly cut. Okay. 40-pound gram pouch, 50-pound gram pouch, 100-gram tin. So this is a 100-gram tin. So there we go. The strength is mild to medium. Okay. The flavoring is mild, taste medium, and room note pleasant. All right. Kind of glad that the strength is mild to medium, because I tend to really love the flavor, the kind of sweet and hay flavors in Virginia, and I just always want to kind of really, smoke, sort of intensely with Virginias, and it gets to be a problem if it's super strong, tobacco, a super strong nicotine hit. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've actually put all the medallions together, and I'm just kind of sliding them down in here, and I'm going to pack it. There are so many different ways to do this, but what I have found with my, not that I've been smoking flakes and coins all that long, but what I have found is that if you break them up, if you rub them out, you can kind of tend to rob them of some of that flavor. The flavor often comes from the sort of intensity of the coin kind of being densely, still kind of densely wrapped together. Got a little bit of a. It's a little bit packed a little bit tight. I don't want to have draw problems. I think what's happening is the bottom isn't really packed in there at all. So I'm just kind of shaping it and making sure that I'm evening it out a bit. Yeah, I had a lot of even space at the bottom, or I'm sorry, open space at the bottom. There we go. Unrestricted. All right, well, I didn't dry this out at all, so we'll see how this goes. I do tend to sometimes have problems when I just smoke it right out of the tin and I don't really dry it out. I don't know why I suddenly sound like a cowboy when I got a pipe in my mouth. A little more difficult to talk though when I got me a pipe in my mouth, Alright. How we doing, match? Oh, man. Okay, we got a ceiling fan. I swear it tastes like marshmallows on a campfire. I mean, that's good. This is interesting because it's not the full strength that you get with Old Dark Fired, because of it's, mostly Virginia. But in a way, I mean, it's so much more fun than just a straight up Eric Stokeby flake or something. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Well, okay. I mean, we got the charring light down here. Let's pat it down. Nice and dry on top. Let's see what we can do. The ceiling fan is giving me hell. I should have turned it down. Here we go. Love that crackly smell. It's good stuff. I tend to have this problem with Eric Stokeby Luxury Twist Flake. Well, all of them really. All those Eric Stokeby flakes. They tend to have a, I don't know, there's a little bit of moisture and stickiness in there that doesn't like to get lit. But with those, I notice once they're lit, they're lit. They stay lit. That is delicious. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I might have a new favorite, Virginia. I wouldn't have thought I would say this about this particular blend. I kind of forgot. I keep forgetting that this is actually mostly a Virginia. I don't really think of it that way. Probably because the tin is dark red and it's like dark twist. And I just think of it as a Kentucky. But really, it has very little Kentucky in it compared to the amount of Virginia. I'd say maybe a quarter Kentucky. I mean, 1/3, or I'm sorry, no, less than a quarter, because 1/4 of the coins has Kentucky in it, and it's only part of the coin. So it's like, what, maybe a 1/6? It's so American, you know, jumping to fractions instead of percentage. I really should just turn that stupid thing off. Okay. Nope. Thing is, it's Texas, so it's a little hot outside. You know what I'm saying? So I come home and I crank up the ceiling fan in my workshop until the AC does its job. Okay. So I would recommend drying it a bit. You know, dry it for half an hour at least. Just because sometimes Virginias don't really like being lit to begin with. But even though, yeah, it says it has a bit of a topping, I would not call this an aromatic. I mean, a little bit of maple flavoring. I don't taste maple. I'm not getting hit with any kind of aromatic maple at all. And I would definitely not call this a goopy mixture at all. So there's nothing, you know, goopy aromatic or anything like that about this at all. However, it's just a kind of a temperamental Virginia that does what Virginias do and give you a little bit of trouble sometimes if they're not dry. But that flavor, man, oh my God, that flavor's good. That flavor is what I hear, one of the experiences that you get when you're smoking this is that you'll kind of reach that patch of Kentucky and presumably Cavendish, and then the whole smoke changes. I didn't really notice that as much with Luxury Bullseye Flake. The whole smoke just kind of had a bit of a Cavendish flavor, but I need to smoke it a lot more, though. I've only had some Bullseye for a short time. I had Luxury Flake for a while and really liked that a lot. I went ahead and got the Bullseye. This is Peter Stokkebye's I'm talking about. Got the Bullseye and the Navy Flake just to try everything. I believe the Navy Flake is a bit of a vapor. But it's a subtle vapor if it is. Anyway, back to this. Yeah. I'm a little frustrated that it's not dried out because I really want to give it a good try with, with a drier smoke. Because the flavor's so good. I mean, it's so good. It's sweet. If you don't like green Virginia, you're not going to like this blend, or you're going to want to age it. But I do. I mean, I like the, if it's super green, then yeah, you probably want to age it for a little while. But I do like the hay notes, That's one of the things I love about Luxury Twist Flake. That the hay, the sort of sweet Virginias, and the topping, it all just kind of works together. That is a quality tobacco right there. Yeah. This gets my thumbs up. And I will be ordering more of this. I'm going to go ahead and keep a stash of it. While I've got it open here, I'm going to jar it up too. I've been switching over all my narrow mouth jars to these wide mouth jars, and I'm actually building a shelf for them, and I'll go ahead and show you that when I get a little further along on that project. It's kind of slow going, but it's coming along, and I'm liking where it's going. It's one of the things is I realized that I didn't want to just hold 24 blends or 48 blends or whatever. Like I'm buying so many, I'm trying so many. A lot of them I get in smaller quantities because I just want to try them, but I like having a big variety. I'm realizing I don't think I'm so much of a constant rotation of this many tobaccos. Every once in a while try something kind of person. I think I'm more of a I want a big it's like a liquor cabinet. You open up a liquor cabinet, you got some people might want their favorite whiskey in there, and and their favorite maybe their favorite rum in there, a couple of things, and that's it. And then other people they want to be able to kind of just open the liquor cabinet and have their pick of whatever. Like tonight I feel like martinis. Tonight I'm gonna make a big tray of buttery nipples for everybody. Why not? That's White Russians for all around. I mean that's the variety kind of approach, and I think that's more where I am with tobaccos. So I had to kind of figure out how to make a cabinet that would hold not a few, but a lot of blends, and keep it not, you know, astronomically expensive. So anyway, that's a project I'm working on that I'm gonna start documenting when I get a little further along with it, because I've just gotten the first shelf made, and but I've done a lot of kind of research and trying to figure out exactly what, you know, size jars I'm gonna use ultimately, and you know, what kind of materials will hold those jars best, and what I can get, you know, without spending a fortune on tiny little materials to separate them. But it's just been quite a thing. But anyway, here's the jar. This is the blend all jarred up, and so this is kind of cool. I wish a lot of people would do this, because I think this would be helpful. But this is what one 3.5 ounce, 100 gram, whatever, tin of dark twist flake looks like in a wide mouth pint jar. Basically, it's perfect for filling the pint jar. I mean, you basically filled it to the top, almost. So that's the storage capacity you'd get out of that. So that makes these jars are the perfect size for almost every blend that I've gotten. This is a really densely packed blend, so I find that the more densely packed sort of coins and flakes, you tend to be able to fit a lot more. So 3.5, ounces. If it's a really fluffy tobacco, it takes up a lot of space. I find that the 2 ounce tins or 1.75 ounce tins, will almost fill one of these jars. But in almost every case, this jar is pretty much perfect for most containers that I see. And I've seen some people like to use, instead of these, the half pint jars, the like small, I think sometimes they're called strawberry jam jars or something from Ball Jar. Anyway, they're smaller versions of this. I actually have some around here, but I don't see one in grabbing distance. But anyway, they're much smaller than this. They look just like this in a video, though. If you see this in a video, it's hard to tell without some sense of scale which one you're looking at, because they look exactly like this. The difference is they have the narrow mouth jar style lid, and yet they don't puff out the way this one does. So it's just a miniaturized version of the wide mouth jar, because it goes straight up. It's like this, but it goes straight up and down, and it's a little shorter. Anyway, those seem to be really popular, and you can put them in soda crates, which is cool. But I find that you can't really hold very much tobacco in one. And the last thing I want to do is have a whole rack with all these blends that came out of tins and whatnot, and 2 ounce bags, and then have to find some other container to put the rest of it all in. So I end up having basically twice as many of those containers that I have to use. That doesn't sound fun. So I had a few of these pint jars because they were what I found first. And then I realized they're kind of annoying getting in here, and also they're a little more annoying to store, because you can store them, but they want to sit a certain way, because they're kind of squarish, and also because the body itself is fatter than the lid, you can't really devise anything to just stick it in. You just have to kind of put it into some sort of cubby. This is thicker, is widest right here at the edge, and it's much more narrow all the way down here. So if you have the right size hole, you can kind of just slide this into something, and it will just kind of stay there. So this is a neat shape for storage. It's easier to get the tobacco in and out because of the wide mouth. This plate is much larger, so the artwork looks better if you print your artwork and put it on there, which I do. So yeah, multiple reasons. I'm a big fan of the wide mouth. This is actually a Kerr brand, Kerr. Ball makes one exactly the same. They're completely compatible, and you can mix and match. So it doesn't really matter which brand you go with. I think curb, ball, you've got different options there too. Another thing, interesting thing. Last night I went ahead and mixed up a bit of what was it called? Haunted pirate ship. Haunted pirate ship. You know what? I just realized I never actually watched the original video that the blend came from, and I apologize. I don't remember exactly who came up with this idea, but I've been seeing it floating around Twitter, and people are talking about it a lot. So I decided to just try it out. Now, the deal with Haunted pirate ship is you take, and I'll talk about this blend again soon, and I will talk about who actually created it. In fact, I'm sure I'll put it in the comments. But someone came up with this idea, mixing 50-50 Haunted Bookshop and Pirate Cake. Now, I wasn't that thrilled with Haunted Bookshop. It's not my kind of blend. I'm not big on burley, but I do like the kind of nutty flavors back there. There's something about burley that I do like, and I do have some Solani aged burley flake on the way, so I'm gonna finally try that. But typical burley blends, I'm not super. They're just not really my thing so much. So wasn't I thought, well, I'll smoke this now and then, but it's not gonna be something I was super excited about. I was excited to read the book, but anyway. However, Pirate Cake, I could smoke that all day. That, for me, that's an all-day smoke. I mean, it's a strong flavor, but I love it. And I thought, man, I bet this would be really interesting because it would cool it down a bit. Not that it burns hot, really. It would produce more smoke, which probably would, help carry more flavor and help it burn. And it would just be an interesting, and would smooth out, Pirate Cake is great, but it is a really hard, I don't want to say harsh, but strong flavor, very spicy blend. And I thought it would be really interesting to have a smoother version, almost like taking, like a hard liquor and putting it on like cream, like a White Russian, which I mentioned earlier. Something like that, smooth out the blend. Anyway, it worked. It was great. It was amazing. You mix it 50-50. Now, the one thing you're supposed to do that I did not do is that you're supposed to let it age for a month. I called this a scout mission in the Haunted Pirate Ship. It's my inaugural sale. I just wanted to see what it would be like, and if I liked it straight, just mixed, pop it in the pipe, smoke it. Then if I liked that, I figured I'd really like it aged. So I just wanted to give it a shot last night. Anyway, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, fantastic. I mixed up, I think it was 7 grams, and I ended up smoking like 3 bowls of this stuff. I have less than a bowl left here. So it was, well, I'll smoke that too. It was amazing. It was really fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. If you like the flavor of Pirate Cake, and I have 16 ounces of it coming, so I wasn't really worried. I was like, well, I've got this huge, I'm gonna have I'm gonna be rolling in Pirate Cake soon, so I did not mind sacrificing a little bit to try this out. I'll go ahead and probably take what's left of maybe even take, I don't know, maybe half of a brownie, of a brick, of a cake, and maybe slice that, weigh an equal amount of Haunted Bookshop, which will probably be half the jar. That's okay, because I don't need that much. I'm not going to smoke it that much, but I will probably smoke it with the Pirate Cake, because that's a really tasty blend. So it gets my recommendation. If you have some Haunted Bookshop lying around, if you have some Pirate Cake, if you like either one of them, if you want to kind of smooth out the flavor, the spicy flavor of the Pirate Cake, or if you want to add some spice to Haunted Bookshop because maybe it wasn't quite exciting enough for you, man, go for it. Go for it. It has my full seal of approval. Anyway, I am going to turn down my ceiling fan, and I'm going to relight this, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this bowl, this delicious bowl of Dark Twist roll cake from Baren. And I hope that you too have something delicious to smoke tonight, and I hope that you guys are going to be out there telling me what you're smoking, and keep this YouTube pipe community thing going and the information flowing. I am on Twitter, by the way. I'm Redstone Piper, so add me on Twitter. Let me know what you're up to. I talk about what I'm up to. I talk about what I'm smoking a lot. So reach out, and let's keep this cool community of pipe smokers. Let's keep it smoking. All right. So thanks for joining me, and I'll be back soon with more first impressions, because I have a lot of new blends to do first impressions on. I'll be doing that very soon, and until then, sayonara.